President Trump refuses to press Vladimir Putin on the questions pretty much every official in American government thinks he should. Luckily, there's Fox News' Chris Wallace, the host on Trump's favorite cable channel, jousted ably with the Russian president, despite the use of interpreters, in an interview airing Monday night. He pressed Putin on the questions Trump has played off, including during Monday's news conference with Putin in Helsinki. The interview turned heated at points, with Wallace clearly frustrated by Putin's trademark filibustering and Putin clearly frustrated by a journalist actually challenging him. Perhaps the most notable exchange came toward the end, when Wallace probed Putin on why many of his critics wind up dead or near death. The most recent high-profile example of this is Sergei Skripal in Britain, an attack for which the Trump administration officially holds Russia responsible, but Trump himself seems to view as an obstacle to making friends. Putin, rather remarkably, compared these alleged assassinations to the assassinations of Americans like President John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. in the 1960s. He blamed side effects of his country's maturing process. He even defended himself by saying his foes do not always end up as casualties. At another tense point early in the interview, Wallace produced a copy of special counsel Robert S. Mueller II's indictments of 12 Russian military intelligence officers from Friday. He detailed it briefly, and Putin began smirking, which Wallace noted. Then Wallace offered it to Putin, and Putin froze for a moment. Rather than accept the documents, he told Wallace to set them on the small table between them. The exchanges that followed became increasingly heated. Wallace tried to keep Putin on topic, and Putin kept suggesting he wasn't being heard. A sampling of Putin's response is, "I will get to it. Just have a little bit of patience. Then you will get a full answer to your question. This is utterly ridiculous. If you will have some patience, you will hear the entire response. If you don't like my answer, you can give it to me straightway, and I'll just keep silent. And if you want Americans to listen to my opinion, could you please wait for a little bit? Well, let me finish. Just let me finish. Well, you're trying to drive, but I will finish." Wallace also pressed Putin on the idea that he had compromising information on Trump, which Putin, unlike in the news conference earlier Monday, flatly denied, and a video the Russian government released rather clearly appearing to show a nuclear missile striking Florida. Some have posited that it showed the missile striking near Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Putin tried to pretend it wasn't a provocation, and rather ridiculously, that it wasn't even Florida. Here is an image of the video, courtesy of CNN, which rather clearly shows a piece of Florida, complete with Tampa Bay carved out of the western part of the coast and Lake Okeechobee in the lower right. It was the grilling you'd expect Trump to have given. It was all the questions Russian journalists can't ask. And it was a marked contrast to earlier in the day, when the American president suggested such things were pittances, mere obstacles to making Russia our friend.